Hi, this is Chef Paul. We're going to be making dinner rolls today, okay? We're going to make dinner rolls. We're going to do a sour cream chive dinner roll, okay? Sour cream chive and dill dinner roll. But what I'm going to focus on right now is we're talking about the straight dough mixing method. Last week you guys made cinnamon rolls. Remember when we did the cinnamon rolls? This is the same idea. It's the same method for any type of basic bread. Pizza dough, rolls, any bread you make. Well, we'll use this simple straight dough mixing method. What it is you take a liquid, right? I got milk, just like we did with the cinnamon rolls. We're going to start with it, and you warm it up. Then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put some sugar in it. Less sugar than the cinnamon rolls, but quite a bit still. I'm going to put some sugar in it, and then we're going to add our yeast, okay? We're going to put some yeast in here. All right, got 2 tablespoons of yeast. That yeast in here, all right? Then you're going to stir it. Just lightly stir it up, and this is all warm. Remember, we got to warm. You want it warm so we can activate the yeast here. All right, we're gonna mix it up, and just like we did the cinnamon rolls. And we're gonna let it stand, and we're gonna check in 5 minutes to see how it looks. You see, we're coming back to our dough here. We got a foam on there. Our yeast is definitely ready to go right now. So now we're gonna start that straight dough mixing method, just like we did with the cinnamon rolls. So you got your milk in here, which could be any liquid, but we're using milk. We're we put the yeast and we feed the yeast with sugar. That's here. We let it stand for 5 minutes or so. It starts to wake up. The next thing we're going to add now is we're going to add our fat, which is, for this, it's the melted butter. You know, just like the cinnamon, same thing. Add the melted butter. Okay, the other thing we're going to add to this is we're going to add our sour cream. Sour cream. We're going to add the sour cream. And it's best if the sour cream is not cold. So if you take it out, I actually put this in the microwave for like 15 seconds just to take the chill out of it. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and add our eggs because it's a fortified dough. Boom, add our eggs to it. 1, 2 eggs. All right, next thing is the flour. All right, this is how we make any dough. This same method. 1, 2, 3, 4, we're gonna end up putting 5 in. It's 4, 1 more. See how they're flat every time. Measuring is very important, making sure that you get the measurements right. Now I gotta put in 1/3 of a cup. Boom, 1/3 of a cup. All right, done. Put that off to the side. Hands there. Okay, next thing is the salt. Remember, salt is always the last thing you put in. So we're going to add our salt. Boom. 1, 2. So we got the salt in there. I'm going to add a little garlic salt for flavor. You can put whatever you'd like. I'm going to add a little garlic salt. Why not? A little flavor. All right. So we have it all in here right now. The next thing we're going to do is we got to mix it. Remember, so we're going to mix it with a wooden spoon, and then we're going to use our hands. Okay, then we'll use our hands. So let me get my wooden spoon, and I'm going to start mixing it. Just going to get it till it combines. You could use a dough hook if you have an actual machine, but we're just going to mix it just like we did the other ones, and we're going to knead it. But we're doing old school here. Old school. Just slowly mix it. Get it to combine. Slowly mix it and get it to combine in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hands in a minute here, use this to scrape it all down, right? And if I need to adjust, I will. I'll take a look at this. Okay. I'm going to have to now, and once it comes together like this, I'm going to use my hands, right? And I'm going to start to knead it, because you got to start to knead the dough. There we go. Just knead it together. And just like we did the other dough, until it starts to form, then what I'll do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on this board and I'm going to knead it. So I'm going to go like this for another minute or so, and then I get it on the board. All right, I've been kneading this for 3 minutes. I just want you to see that it's already starting to get shiny, very similar to the cinnamon rolls we did. And kneading again, using your heel. See how I push it and I turn it. Using the heel of your hand. You got to keep doing this, okay? You're going to do this for 7 minutes. I did add another tablespoon of milk to this because it was a little bit dry. Sometimes you need to, sometimes you don't. You always got to, look at your dough and see if you need to adjust it. So I'm going to go another 4 minutes, and we're going to take a look at it. All right, so I've been kneading this for about 7-8 minutes now. It's completely smooth. That's what you're looking for. Now you got to ball it. Okay, so the next step is you got to ball this. Okay, so now you're going to take it and you're going to ball this up. Now I haven't added any flour to this. I added a tablespoon of milk because it was a little dry, and then I just started kneading it for 8 minutes, and I haven't had to add any flour. Now, so you don't automatically put flour down unless you need it. I've used none. You can see this cutting board is clean. Get that nice round, just like we did before. Nice and smooth, sealed. That's a perfect dough right there. Next thing we're gonna do is, I'm using butter. You see, it's just like how we did the cinnamon rolls. It's a very similar, it's a fortified dough with the egg. It's using milk. It's just gonna be not as much sugar, and it's flavored differently. Same idea though. There we go. Now I'm gonna take this, put this down. All right, now I'm gonna put butter on it again, because you don't want to skin. Two things. We don't want it to stick to the bowl, and we don't want the dough to dry out. So by putting some fat down, and you can use oil if you don't have butter, but butter tastes better. So we're just gonna melt a little butter on there. Okay? And then you're gonna put plastic wrap. Want it? Okay, now, just like we did the cinnamon rolls, you can put it somewhere warm, or you can turn your oven to 200 degrees, put it in the oven, in the 200-degree oven, turn the oven off, let it set there for 10 minutes to help the rising process, just like we did the last dough. So I'm just gonna set it over here in a warm area, and then we're gonna come back in a little bit, and we're gonna roll it out. Back to our dough. Our dough is proof now, and it's risen, and now it's time. I'm gonna take it out of the bowl. Just flop it down out of the bowl. There we go. You can see we buttered it so almost nothing stuck. That's what you're trying to do. Now we're going to, just like how we did the cinnamon rolls, we're just going to push it down. Look at this. Look how easy it is. And you're just going to, now I'm going to need to put flour eventually down here so it doesn't stick. Yeah, you can see all that butter. These are loaded with butter just like the cinnamon rolls, so you may have to throw some flour down or you won't be able to roll it out. That's fine. Got to push it out. I'm using my hands and do the same thing like we did. Flour down, a little flour here. I need all that flour here. It looks like there's all that. All right, that looks pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do here, okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and use a rolling pin, just like we did last time. Rolling pin, you're gonna go one, just like we did the cinnamon roll, all the way, same idea. See, all the way across. Look how easy this is moving. Look how easy, perfect, all the way. All the way. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna make these, you're just gonna get them, but this is the same idea as the cinnamon rolls, except for they're gonna be dinner rolls. Perfect. Then I'll show you what we do next. So we're gonna be using green onions. You can use chives, there is a difference. I couldn't get chives, so we're gonna use green onions. They weren't available, but chives, if you ever see chives, they're skinny green. They're basically different style onions, but we're gonna use green onions in its place, no problem. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna just dice these up or chop them, right? Remember, using a rocking motion, you're just gonna slowly cut these. Just rock, really slow, and you're just gonna chop these up. And we're gonna put these in the middle, and I'll show you later. All right, so you're gonna chop them all up like this, and then I'm gonna show you how to do the dill. Once you get them diced, we're gonna chop these because we want these even smaller. So how do you chop something? You get it all like this, and you're gonna just kind of, with the knife, go back and forth. You're just gonna get them all chopped so they're even smaller. So when we put them into our rolls, they're not too big. Just kind of keep going. I'm just gonna chop them. See what I'm doing? Back and forth with the knife, back and forth. Just gonna chop them, just like that. Okay. So the next thing we're going to chop is I'm going to get some dill. So to do dill, you just kind of pick. You're not going to use the stem, so you grab your dill, and we're just going to take the dill. We want just the herb part, not all the stem. So I'm going to pick it like this. So you continue to pick it all, and then we're going to chop it in a minute. Doing the dill. Now, if you can see, the dill comes like in a strand like this, and you're going to need to pick it. So you pick it here, so you want just the dill weed part, not the stems. So the stems are here, we're not going to use. If a little stems get in, it's not that big of a deal, but you're trying just to get the dill weed part. So you'll end up with your dill weed, and your stems. The stems we're gonna get rid of. You can see the difference in the two. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna chop the dill. So you're gonna do it just like we did on the other one. You're just gonna kind of chop this using that. Get it small first, breaking it down. And then we're gonna do the same way we did the other one. We're gonna chop it back and forth, back and forth. Once I get it kind of broken down, then I'm going back. You're gonna just kind of keep going back and forth. That rocking motion, just come back and forth. We want to get this nice and chopped, just like we did the green onions. All right, that looks good. That'll work. All right, so it kind of looks like our cinnamon roll. It's kind of a similar dough, but obviously these are dinner rolls. So we're going to be using dill, our chopped dill, all right, and our chopped green onions. If you can get chives, you can use chives, but I just use green onions and chop them really thin. So what you do is you're just going to kind of put this on here like this. We're going to coat it. So some green onions down here. Right? And we're going to throw some of our dill on here. And you can use any herbs. You could make this with rosemary. You could do an oregano one. Anything, any herbs would work. We're going to do dill and green onions. And we're also going to put some garlic on it as well. All right, so we're going to get it all like this, and I'm going to show you how to roll it. So now we've got it all down. We got our green onions and our dill down. Now we're going to roll this again, very similar, just a light, loose roll. I'm not going to roll it tight. I just want to kind of roll it, but loose, really loose. Perfect. And then I'll come back and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. All right, so this is really similar to the cinnamon roll, but we're actually making a roll. So what we're going to do after you get all of it in like this, it's kind of like that. I'm actually going to push it down now. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of push it like this to get it all to come together, just like that. Push it all down, just like this. Okay, just kind of push it. The dough should be, at this point, really pliable. And look at that, easy. All right. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we cut this into little dinner rolls, and we're going to ball them, and I'm going to show you what we can do next. All right, so what you can see is I flattened this out, so now you're going to make little dinner rolls. So what you do is you're going to cut this in half to start. You're going to take the dough, roughly cut it in half, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut them into little squares, and we will turn these into rolls. Size you make, you got all those herbs in there. Perfect. And I'll show you how you roll them out, all these squares, but then you have to ball them. There we go. Come back and we'll ball them up. All right, so you cut them in little squares, but you got to make them round. So just like we did the other ones, now you're just going to kind of with your hands. I put a little bit of flour down because of the herbs. You can put less herbs if you want, as much as you want. Was making it a little bit moist, so I added a little flour to the board, and you just kind of roll them up so they're round. You know, you're just gonna make these little round ones, and I'll show you. Then we're gonna do it just like we did the cinnamon rolls. You're gonna have them close together. Just keep going. If they stick at all, you just add a little flour to the board so they it doesn't stick, and you just kind of roll them. Make round little balls. That's all you're doing. Make round little balls. Just kind of roll them up. All right, there we go. See, we got them all balled up, and I just kind of greased this pan, and now we have to proof them again, just like we did the cinnamon rolls. They got to grow, and then after that, I'm going to egg wash them, and I'm going to put some herbs on top. You can put anything you want on top of it. I'm going to put some a little bit of herbs and garlic salt, and you'll see that afterwards. But right now, we're going to proof them again. So you can see our rolls right now. They proofed. So that you have to do it like the cinnamon rolls. You got to give them the rise again. They're pretty much, you know, doubled in size or close to it. So now with these, we're going to egg wash them. That's going to give them that nice crust. So with an egg, I put 1 egg. Remember, I turn the water on, roughly a tablespoon of water. You turn it on, just put it, run it through the faucet, fork, mix it up well. Now we're going to go ahead and egg wash it. Okay. So you're just going to kind of brush them, get them all nice and egg washed here. It's going to get them, and it'll also, when you egg wash, you can add things to it. That's what makes things stick. So it's going to give it a nice browning. and it'll also give them that able to put any type of topping you might want to put on them. You can put anything. I'm gonna throw a little bit of garlic salt and then a little garlic mixture we're gonna put on top. You can put anything. Okay, just gotta get them there, just about there. Get them nice and coated. Looks pretty good. All right, one more second here. Get them all. You gotta get all those dry spots. Don't want any dry. All right, that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the mixtures on. I'm going to just hit it with, I'm just going to put a little bit of garlic salt, just a pinch. A little bit of flavor, a little garlic salt, right? And then I'm going to put this. This is actually dash, just a garlic herb mix. You can put anything. It'll help give it. You can put a little of that. I'm also going to take just a pinch of cracked black pepper. Put a little black pepper on there. Give it a little texture. Okay. All right, so now you got them all. They look good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these and put them in a 350-degree oven, and we're going to check them and see how they look in 10 minutes. Okay. All right, so I just took them out of the oven. They were about 25 minutes. They're going to go anywhere between 22 to 30 minutes in your oven. We egg washed them. We got a nice crust on them, and you can see all the herbs, the pepper, and everything in there. So the last thing you're going to do is you're just going to take a little bit of butter, and you're just going to brush them with a little bit of melted butter. Just a little butter on there. Get them all nice. Keeps them nice and moist. All right, there you go. These are your basic dinner rolls. There we go.